parents. They seem to be in such a major... Hello and welcome to the To Be More podcast. My name is Erica Kane. Today's guest is the founder of My Father's Plan, or MFP, a nonprofit organization dedicated to cultivating change for inner city youth through community activism, financial literacy, and community outreach, teaching youth of all ages skills that will spark personal growth and ultimately enhance their community. Please welcome Dawod Thomas.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having us.
Yes, I'm so glad you could be here. So let's start by talking about the inspiration behind My Father's Plan.
Well, clearly it was my father, Charles Thomas. Graduated from Dunbar High School, I think 1966, I want to say. My mother's going to kill me if I'm wrong.
Right, you got to get that right.
So, him and my mom met at Dunbar High School in 66. He played basketball. And I got an older brother, so he always talked to us about youth development, about community development, and about what that would look like. Okay. And as much as I didn't care to hear it back then, I just wanted him to drop me off to my mom's house so I could play with my friends. It was seeds that was planted, unbeknownst to me at the time. It was a lot of seeds that he planted. Yeah. So he's the inspiration behind all of this. Everything I'm doing is stuff that he talked about 40 years ago. So that's good. Then you think about it like, dang, we got the same problems. Right? Wow. Right? So it's from 40 years ago, we tackling some of the same issues. Right. Right. So that part of it is
a little bittersweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to read an excerpt. When I was a boy, my dad would talk about having a boys' group that would allow boys across the city to be acquainted with one another without living in the same neighborhood. He talked about having a brotherhood that would decrease the need to feel threatened by another black man on site. I took this blueprint but added a few things. One, we have girls as well. And two, the plan cannot happen without an economic component. So this is just a quick excerpt, just letting us know about My Father's Plan. Do you feel like you've been sticking to the plan so far?
Yes, I have. It's been because my father died when he was 42, so he was young.
He's so young.
Yeah, and because he didn't get to implement a lot of things, it's just a lot of things I wasn't prepared for.
How old were you?
I was 18.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm sticking to the plan fully, but I have to adjust it as I go.
Yeah.
Because it's things that I wasn't prepared for, right? That nobody can be prepared for if you haven't gone through that.
Of course.
But yeah, for the most part, everything he wanted to do, we doing. We started off, we opened a business. He said you got to have businesses in the community, so we opened a business first. Okay. And we took proceeds from the business to start the nonprofit. And then eventually the nonprofit began to get more motion than the business, right? So we shut down the business, and now the nonprofit is the business.
Okay, gotcha. And tell me about some of the programs or services that My Father's Plan offers.
The most attractive program is the cleanup program. Okay. Because kids get paid a stipend.
Okay, nice.
We might get a kid in middle school, 7th grade, 5th grade, and they stay with us all through middle school and high school. And people say, well, how do you keep them so long? Because they get paid. Yeah. Right? I'm not going to pretend like our program is so great. We're teaching them so much. No, they get paid. Yeah. Right? And as long as they come back, we can teach them all the other stuff. So the stipend is like the carrot. Right? They think they're coming for the money. Yeah. But by the time they leave, they have got so many other skills that they didn't know they were getting. A lot of our kids, when they think you're trying to teach them something, they're going to withdraw. Because they hear it all, they hear it all the time. It's the same language just coming from different people.
Of course.
So I try to lead with the economics. Let's feed you because you're hungry.
Right,
Let's start there. Yeah. Right? So let's get your basic need, which is economics most times. Not all the time, but most times. So we start there, and then that's how we build up, right? They know if they come every week and they do the work, they're going to get the money.
They're going to get paid, yeah.
Now, I might slide in a financial literacy class. I might slide in a nutrition class. I might slide in, bring in a guest speaker who's talking about whatever they're talking about, right? But everything is paid training. Yeah. Everything is paid training.
I like that.
I don't like, I feel like I'm going to talk about people I don't want to. But we don't get paid off the kids. The kids get paid off of us. And that's what makes our program unique. And there's no other program in the city like ours. You know, we don't get $100,000 grant and 10 staff getting paid,
Yeah.
right? We get $100,000 grant and 50 kids getting paid,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So we want to make sure we empower them economically first.
Okay. So with the cleanup program that MFP or my father's plan offers, not only are they learning responsibility because they're making their own money, a lot of those kids have the responsibility of helping their families now that they have a job because families are struggling to get by. So they're learning that responsibility, but not only that, but they're also learning a sense of awareness about the community around them.
You hit it on the nose.
Yeah, because we have to clean this up. Right now it's a job. I'm here, I'm cleaning up because I'm getting paid and I want to get this check. But then at the end of the day, like you said about implementing those seeds, planting those seeds, and as you get older, you start looking around and you're seeing things that you don't like in a certain community or in your community,
And
you're going to take more notice.
And you know how to change them.
Right.
Right? So financial literacy is for us, you have to fill out this W-9. That's financial literacy.
Yeah.
Guess what? At the end of the year, you're going to get a 1099 in the mail.
Right.
Come to the building. Everybody come to the building Saturday so we could talk about the 1099.
Yes.
This is financial literacy. And it's not case scenario. No, it's real. Your name is on it. This is the
Yeah.
money that you got paid.
Absolutely.
So when you ask us about our programs, it all starts with the stipend program. Because through that, we can do everything else.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean everything. So, yeah, it's financial literacy, it's leadership groups, mental health. We started a mental health program where kids could see a therapist minimum of once a month.
Okay.
Nutrition. You know, we bring in nutrition experts. Talk
And
about
this is provided free for them?
yeah, yeah. Most of the training is paid training.
Right.
So when you come to a class on nutrition, you're getting paid to be there.
Right. Now, for a mental health class, would
Mental
that
health,
be paid
that's
or is
different.
that just
No,
like
no,
a
no.
free service that's
That's
provided?
a free service that's
Right.
provided from the state. So that's not a payment.
Necessary, though. Very necessary.
Necessary because we all deal with trauma, and I say we, not just kids. Like we all deal with trauma.
Yes.
So that was just something that I thought. Again, that wasn't something my father used to talk about. And maybe he did, and maybe I missed that part.
Yeah.
Right. But that's just something I kind of learned on the way as I was going. Like, you know, maybe we need to bring in a mental health program because I'm not a therapist.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and
Yeah.
some of the things that we're talking about, I know my limitations. So, so mental health, community cleanup, community activism. Again, you start off when you fifth grade, but by the time you're in 11th grade, you don't really need me to impact the community anymore. You know what to do, right? So we have some of our 11th and 12th graders who walk around with our fifth graders. You know, we have a tutoring program where our high school kids tutor our elementary school kids. So the programs is always based on what the need is. Whatever the need is, we create the program. You know, we had a photography class because the kids was talking about photography.
The interest.
Yeah, they got the phones all day long.
Right.
They taking pictures all day long.
Right.
So let's figure out how can we maximize on these skills that y'all have.
Right.
So that's what it's about. That's what my father's plan was always about. How can we, whatever you want to do, we want to create an infrastructure in our community that you can go to and you can be able to dream. And not only dream about it, but make it happen. You know, tell me what you want to do. You want to be this person? Okay, cool. We're going to set you up so that you can become that person.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just a fantasy. You're not just in your room wishing you can do these things. No, you can come to the building and tell me exactly what you want to do, and we're going to help you facilitate that.
And that's the thing, because so many kids have no idea where to start, aren't exposed to so many things. So like you said, you may be watching television or on your phone and you're scrolling and watching whatever, and you have these dreams and desires, but you just have no idea, like, how do I get from here in this house
That's right. And
to where I want to
and
go?
eventually they fade. Eventually they fade, and then after so many dreams and ideas fade, you start believing that you can't do it. You know, you stop believing in your own imagination. So that's kind of the basis of what my father used to talk about, which
Yeah.
was just being an infrastructure. And I didn't know what that word meant, right? Maybe 7 years ago, I really started understanding what that meant.
Yeah.
Because it's so broad. But that's what it is. That's what he was talking about, creating an infrastructure in our community. So if a kid want to get a job, he don't have to catch the bus to Towson and work at Burger King. He can walk up the street and come
Yeah.
to my father's plan, and then we can plug him into a situation where he can make some money. So just the infrastructure. If a kid is struggling at home, you don't have to wait for some van to come pick you up. No, come up the street and see the therapist. We have therapists on site,
Yeah.
right? If your kid is hungry, right? Kids come to school and they pack fruit in their book bags at lunchtime. I worked at a school. This is what they do. They take milks and the staff that don't know, oh, you can't take those milks out of the cafeteria. You can't take the food. And I'm like, chill out. You don't understand.
Yeah.
This is for later when they leave school.
Right.
Right? So that's what my father's plan is. You're hungry, come up to the building. We got food in the building. We got fruit.
Yeah.
We got water. Take some home. It's fine. Like, we are the infrastructure. This is the goal. The goal is for us to not be the only infrastructure, right? But for now, we are the infrastructure. And be honest, it don't feel like a job to me. It never feels like a job. It just feels like my purpose. That's what I'm supposed to do. This is what my father thought he was going to do.
Right.
So it feels normal to me.
What is the age range of the children that your organization helps out? I know a lot of people talk about the importance of just starting young in terms of influence, not waiting until, the child is a teen and having problems and already have had these bad influences and they're out here and the parents can't control them any longer, but starting
It's tough to
young.
bring them back.
Yeah.
We start them at 5
Okay.
because they can start seeing the therapist at 4. Right? So we start them at 5. They may not be on the cleanup crew at 5, but we had programming for them at 5. And the age, today a kid is 26 now, right? A 26-year-old might really be 18, developmental wise.
Right.
So yeah, from 5, the oldest kid I would say, and I'm saying kid, but the oldest young person right now I would say is probably about 27.
That's still being mentored under your program.
Yeah, they need it.
Right.
They're not really 27.
Right.
Right.
And so this 27-year-old, at what age did they join or start?
Probably 12.
Okay. Yeah.
12, they might have came and come and go. 12 to 16, they was with me. And then 16 to 19, they was doing whatever they was doing.
Okay.
And then they say,
And they come back around.
yeah, because I'm
Safe
there.
place.
I'm right
Safe
there.
space.
I'm not saying you can't come back. And when I see you, I'm saying, yo, what's up? Ain't nothing, Dawod. Okay, you doing what you're doing. I get it. I used to do it. So I'm not the guy to say, don't do this. I'm not going to tell you what not to do.
Yeah.
I'm only going to provide you with options of what else you can do. Because I did stuff. I broke the law. I was in the streets. I was doing stuff. So I'm not a hypocrite. I'm not going to say, well, you shouldn't. Guess what you hear all day? I'm just going to say, be safe.
Yeah.
You hungry? We're going to the Wizards game. You want to go?
No judgment.
Yeah, you got to leave your gun home, though.
Yeah. That would help.
You can't bring the gun with you in the van.
Safety first.
Right. Yeah, so.
That brings me to my next question about accessibility. You talk about people being able to come back. Where is My Father's planned headquarters located in the city, and how accessible is it in terms of the hours and, that people can reach out?
4017 Old York Road, better known as Old York and Cater.
Okay.
Right? We are an infamous neighborhood for crime, violence, and murder. Has always been the case.
Yeah.
Maybe the last 10 years we've been changing the narrative a little, a lot. So I'm kind of belittling it. Yeah, we've changed the narrative a lot. So it's really no hours because we there, we not there, we there, but I'm always accessible.
Okay.
Anybody can, because we on social media. My phone number is on social media. Kids call me all the time. Most of the kids in our program are from the neighborhood. I would say 80%, 85%. Probably 80. I'm going to say 75. Because I worked in a school so many years. So I know kids from all over the place just from working in the school system. So a lot of times it might be a kid that went to the school that I worked at, and I knew them since kindergarten. Now they're in 9th grade. And I know them. I know their parents. I know them. But they're not from my neighborhood. But they'll call me, hey, Dawod, I'm trying to work, da-da-da-da-da. And I let them come because I know them. So it's just easier when I know the parent. Rarely we get a kid that I don't know, but it happens. But they have to make an impression. They have to make an impression because it's just such a gamble, right, when I don't know anything about you, because you can tell me anything, and I have no way to reference you.
Yeah.
But if they present themselves in a way that, sparks my interest, then they get a shot.
Okay.
And we have those kids in
Yeah.
our program. Yeah, we have those kids. We get them because their friend work in the program.
Okay.
That go to their school and they tell them everything. So then they call me. Some of the kids don't have a shot just because of the way they come, just because of what they're saying.
So what can get you disqualified?
When you jump in my inbox and say I want a job, I typically just read it, left you on red. I leave you on red.
Okay.
Yeah. You can come back and try to say something else, but if that's all you got, nah.
Okay. You don't try to, I guess,
Coach
share. Yeah. Any type of advice or
Nope.
any. Okay. Enlighten them a little bit before they go.
Nope, because that's not real life.
Yeah.
I'm a real life coach.
Yeah. I hear you.
And I accept that I can't save everybody. I accept that you're going to make me drown before I help you swim.
Yeah.
So I got to at least know that you're trying to swim.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You got to at least show me. That's why I said, depending on what they say, some kids I can see, he's trying to swim.
Yeah.
Let me help him out.
Let me help him out.
Right? But you just sinking. You just think that I'm the lifeboat. I'm not. I'm not the lifeboat.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with that. Because it was a lot of people that tried to help me, and I wasn't ready for the help. So it just depends on what they say.
Right.
But again, most of the kids that contact me, I know them, or I know their parent, so I can reference them. Even if they come in my inbox and they say something wild like that, but I know who they are, then I can say, you need to talk to your uncle so and so, and ask him how you supposed to
Approach the situation correctly.
Right. So then they go back and they come back. Oh, Mr. Dawod, you don't have to call me Mr. Dawod.
Well, they want to get it right at that
Yeah,
point.
but see, now I got you.
Yeah.
Now I got you. Now we're gonna do this back and forth. This is me working with you, cause I don't want the facade.
Yeah.
Just be yourself. I'm telling you, the Mr. Dawod ain't gonna get it, cause I don't like that. I'm not. I worked in the school. People say I hate Miss So and So or Miss So and So is a B. Leave the Mr. off. Just call me Dawod. Be yourself, so that we can get to know each other. Cause once I talk to you and you're a teenager, I no longer need to talk to your parent. I don't want to talk to your mom or your dad or your uncle. You 14, you 15. It's time to learn how to advocate for yourself. So give me your number. You got my number. You tell your mother what days that you work. I'm not telling her. You tell your mother what time you get off. I'm not telling her. Because now it's time for you to advocate for yourself. The world is tough.
Right. Yeah, sure.
Especially for young black youth, young girls as well.
Absolutely.
So the world is tough. And a lot of times we as parents, we don't want our kids to fail. And that's unrealistic. I want you to fail. That's the only way you're going to have success is if you fail, right? So I'm going to put you in position to fail. People say, I'm going to put you in position to succeed. No, I'm going to put you in position to fail because it's going to happen. It's inevitable. I need to see who you are when you fail, when your mother can't help you out or your so-and-so can't save you. Now who are you? That's what I need to see. Like, the way I'm looking at you, that's how I'm looking at them. What you going to do now?
Yeah.
Right? Because I want to know.
Yeah.
Because it helps me to know who you are. So now I know where to put you.
Right.
Or where not to put you. But I got to see first. And a lot of times parents get in the way. Even the parents that know me personally.
We mean well.
I know.
We mean well.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But I still have to be who I am.
Yeah, for sure.
And some of these parents are people that are my friends. I know them, and I have to say, mostly women, right? To be honest.
Oh no, okay, I can't vouch for that one.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why it's mostly women. It's mostly women because it's usually only women.
Women that are involved.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's usually only women. Like a lot of fathers not around. So that's one reason. And two is mostly women because mothers are the nurturers. If your baby fall, you're going to help them up. Not all mothers, but for the most part.
For the most part.
Yeah, dad kind of sit back and watch. Boy, get up.
Get up, yeah.
Right? So a lot of times I have back and forths with moms, and then I got to lay the bottom line. Listen, if you don't trust me with your child, you should tell your child he can't come no more. Because I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this.
And now we're at an ultimatum.
Yeah, I don't want to do back and forth with you because it's not about you. It's about the youth.
Right.
If you die tomorrow, is your son or your daughter going to be able to advocate for themselves? And nobody thinks like that, right? But I'm thinking like that because I know how fast it happens. It happens fast. With our youth, with adults, life is not promised. So I'm always trying to prepare them for tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You mentioned your work with the school system. So you served for
16 years.
Okay, that's a lot of years.
Yeah.
Can you tell us where I saw that you were a behavioral specialist at Southwest Baltimore Charter School?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got to shout out my girl, Erica Brockman.
Okay.
She was the founder and executive director of the school, and she gave me a shot when nobody else would. You know, I'm saying 15. I think I was there about 17 years.
Okay.
So when I first got there, I had a background, you know, from my youth. You know, they say, when you're young, they say, don't get a criminal record because it follows you all your life. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Right? So I did some things when I was a juvenile that, and then I had an adult record. And it hindered me from getting certain jobs. And I had accepted it. Like, this is what it is. But Erica did not, right? My daughter was going to the school, and I would come to the school every day just to hang out with her and kind of I'm just that kind of dad. And, of course, I would be talking to the other kids. And some of the kids were tough. And those teachers were young women, and they let me just be frank, young Caucasian women teaching these young black boys and girls. And some of those kids was presenting challenges that those teachers wasn't prepared for.
Okay.
And me just happened to be there. I just happened to be there. And it was nothing for me to, like, straighten them out. So the teachers would go back and tell her, well, Ayana's dad, he told us to leave the cafeteria, and he got it. And she like, you left him in the cafeteria with 3 classes? They said, yeah. Like, he walked them up to the classroom, and the lines were so quiet and da-da-da-da-da. But I was in my element. Like, it was nothing to me.
Right.
And the last thing I wanted to do was work there, right? I didn't want them people to know my background.
Right,
They might have said,
'Cause
you
your
can't come
child's
here no more.
there. Right.
Well, once you ran out kids, right? Nothing with kids. It
Right.
was just some violent stuff that I did as a youth. And, Erica sat me in the office one day. She like my sister now. Sat me in the office, we need you to work here. We need you. You to do. I said, what you need, like a token black guy? She was like, no, we need somebody who can help these kids. Like, we don't know what to do with some of these kids and their behaviors, and some of the parents are so tough and da-da-da-da-da. So I took the offer, and North Avenue fired me 2 weeks later when my fingerprints came back, right? I was used to that, though. That's why I wouldn't apply for certain jobs. I was used to that.
Right.
So I was so mad at myself and her. Like, why did I let this white lady pump me up to believe I could get this job, and I knew I couldn't get this job? She crying, and I'm looking at her like, she don't get it, right? Well, we going there. I had to go to North Avenue for an exit interview. So she going with me. Well, we going together because this is not right. Now I'm laughing, right? Because she passionate, right? And I like that, right? I said, you cool. But this is the real world. Like, the world you living in, or how you think it's supposed to be, this is how it is. Like,
Yeah.
I did stuff, so this is what comes from that. She was like, well, she said the logical stuff. Well, that was 20 years ago when you was a kid, and da-da-da-da-da. I said, yeah, but this is the system. So we go to North Avenue, long story short, and we get the job back. She get the job back. And from that day, I promised her, I said, you know what? I got your back.
Yeah.
Because nobody ever did that. No black person, no white person, no person. Nobody ever fought for my job. They usually say, oh, Dawod, we sorry to lose you, but our policies and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So she fought for me, and she, at the time, I don't think she really knew loyalty-wise for me, because nobody had ever done it. And working at that school changed my life because it allowed me into places that I probably wouldn't have been welcome because of my jacket, because of my criminal background.
Right.
I would have been judged. So this is the funny part, Erica. I used to wear that school badge everywhere I went, probably for 3 years, because it was like a key.
Yeah.
It was like an entry key, right?
It's like the people that drive around with the PAL stickers in the car.
Yeah, right. I would wear that badge everywhere I went. I mean, I got off work at 3. I probably wouldn't take the badge off till 6.
You wanted folks to know, listen,
because
man of importance here.
Once I realized what it was doing,
Yeah.
right? Because people would say, "Oh, you work in the school system," which automatically gave me some type of credential, right? And then they say, "What did you do?" "Oh, I'm a behavior specialist." "Oh, can you talk to this kid?" Right? So it was like, dang, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I went from kind of being discreet and obsolete with all these hidden talents to now it's like, oh, y'all want to know, and it was crazy. So I'm just forever thankful to her and and I'm a partner with the charter school now. Now we partner. We know some of our programs are in their school.
Okay.
And she just my sister forever. She just was great. So the charter school was a great school, just climate and culture wise. Academics, they probably could, step it up like most of our schools.
Okay.
But climate and culture is not too many schools that can compete. I brought in my younger brother, so he kind of like he better than me. Like he kind of took the lead now, and he runs that department at the school. So I felt good about leaving it with him and a couple of other men that I helped bring in. So I felt good leaving. They pushed me out because I wouldn't get the COVID shot, first of all. So
okay.
It's not like I said, I'm ready to resign. They was like, no, if you don't get that shot, you got to go.
You have to go. Okay.
So I left.
Okay.
But
Do you regret it?
No, hell no.
Okay.
No, it was the best thing. It was the best thing ever. Look where I'm at. I'm sitting here talking to you, right?
Yeah.
Because I started doing my father's plan like full speed.
Okay.
First, it was just something I was doing, something I'm passionate about. I'm doing it. But I still got a job. I still got a boutique clothing store, right? But my father's plan is something I'm doing.
Right.
Now it's like, okay, yes, primary source of income is gone. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Right? And I had been practicing being a civilian for 17 years, so I know I wasn't going to break no laws. So I'm like, well, what am I going to do? Do I want to go back to another job? Not really.
Yeah. But those years in the school system had their purpose.
It was practice.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was practice.
Practice, research, all of that. Now, did you grow up in the Baltimore public school system, private school, or?
Public schools. A lot of them.
A lot now. Is you were in trouble a lot? Is that what that's about?
Middle school, I went to Winston, Dunbar Middle, Roland Park. High school, I went to Northern, Southern, Lake Clifton, Francis Inwood. I was the guy. I'm him.
Okay. I am him. So now, coming from being a student in the school system to now being a faculty member or employee of the school system, what were some of the, changes or differences that you've noticed, just even within that time and then being on the other side of it, now being a faculty member and not a student?
Changes? It wasn't many changes. It wasn't many changes. What I noticed was the schools that had the most black males were usually better managed as far as behavioral stuff.
Okay.
But not just, and I hate to say it like this because I know you have a broad audience, but I have to say it, not just any black male. I mean like the guys who come from where we come from.
Okay.
Right? The schools who had those guys in the schools, you can tell the difference in the climate, in the culture of the schools.
Okay.
Because we're going to talk different. We're going to talk to the kid different. And there's no manual. You can't go to school for that.
Right.
You have to go through the hard knock school to know that. So when the kid is exhibiting certain behavior, what this teacher going to say to him is way different than what I'm going to say to him. And what I'm going to say to him, the teacher would probably say is untherapeutic. Right? What I'm going to say to him in his ear, his mother probably say, don't talk to my son like that. But I know this is what he need to hear right now. But he need to hear it from me because I'm him. And he know I'm him.
Yeah.
Because me and him have had conversations.
Yeah.
So the schools who have those men, not in all cases, right? But typically, the culture and climate is, they can be de-escalated. When those people don't exist in a school building, you typically have more chaos and confusion. Prime example, we took over Diggs Johnson Middle School. And if you're from Baltimore City, you know Diggs Johnson. Diggs Johnson, like, Lean on Me. Like the movie?
Yes.
No, literally.
Yes.
And so when we took over the school, Erica asked me to go to the school building to look at the school and look at the kids. Because we were at elementary school, and they were at middle school. And North Avenue, shout out to Tisha Edwards. She used to work at North Avenue. Now she worked with the state office, the governor. And at the time, she was at North Avenue. And she said, well, if y'all want this building, because we needed a building, y'all got to take the middle school. So Erica said, well, Dawod, can you go check out the middle school? So I go around to see this middle school. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. The kids ran the school. And
disarray?
Disarray is an understatement. And I'm sorry for any faculty that used to work there that's listening to this, but that was a fact. Wow. So I just remember walking through the school talking to some of the kids, and they ran the school. And I told them that I was coming. I said, the school I work at, we coming to take the school. They was like, what that mean? I said, that mean I'm coming. I'm talking my shit, right? I said, I'm coming. So, they look at me up and down. I got on shell-head Adidas. I got my fitted hat on, right? I'm like them. I was just younger, right? So, some of them laughing. Some of them, it don't matter. I'm like, okay, I'm just telling you. When I come, that's not happening. We're going to get you out of here. We're going to kick you out. And so we came a year later. So what I did, and this is an introduction to the cleanup program. So what I did, I asked the principal at the time, I said, give me a list of the worst 30 students in the school. And she was just looking at me like I was crazy, but she gave me the list. So that summer, I visited all of them, house visits, because I needed to see who
The environment.
Yeah, where you come from. Like, is it just you, or is it where you from? Is you just being a butthead, or this is just in you, right? Most of them, it was in them, right? When I got to their house, I'm like, oh, okay. So it's not really your fault. I got it. So I offered all of them jobs, all 30 of them. Miss Kane, Erica, I didn't know what the job was going to be. I just knew I had to I had to get their attention. So that I knew money gets your attention. This was before I started the community cleanup. So in the summertime, it was a full school building of staff because it was a new building for us. So everybody's there. So we got about 25 kids in the front of the school. And these not elementary kids. And none of these teachers are used to middle school kids. These are big kids. And they asking for Dawod. Hey, Mr. Dawod in there? That's how they ask. Hey, where Mr. Dawod at? Right? So it sounds like they coming to get me. The teachers don't know. They not, that language is not. Yeah, but where Mr. So Dawod, it's all these kids outside. I said, what, they out front? I said, how many of them is it? It's about 20 of them, 30 of them. I said, all right, cool. I'll be out in a minute. So I'm trying to figure out as I'm walking down the steps, damn, what am I going to do with these kids? I told all of them I'm going to give them a job. Right, what am I going to do with them? So when I get outside, I'm standing in front of them. They're like, yeah, Mr. Dawod, you woo-woo, a job, I'm saying woo-woo because they saying stuff, all of it. And I'm just kind of looking at all, just trying to, like, what the fuck am I going to do, right? This is one of them anxiety moments, right? My anxiety is, but whatever. So as I'm talking as them listening to them, because I'm not saying anything, they talking. And they surrounded me. So the staff thinking I'm in danger. I'm not feeling in danger at all. I'm just trying to figure out what are we going to do? What am I going to do with them? So as I'm looking around, we in Pigtown. As I'm looking around, I see all this trash everywhere.
Oh, boy.
I said, yo, we about to clean up.
Yeah.
They said, clean up? I said, yeah, y'all said y'all want to get paid. Now I'm talking my shit, right? Because now I'm ready. Yeah, we about to clean up. I said, hey, Miss Cheryl, you got some gloves in there? So Miss Cheryl, oh, yeah, I got gloves. So, all this, they like running to get me what I need, right? Which was awesome. So we get the gloves. We don't have no pickup sticks or nothing. We got gloves and bags. I said, listen, y'all say y'all want to get money. We about to get money. Everybody getting $25. We about to work for 2 hours. So we all do it, right? I pay all of them $25, right? I said, come back Tuesday, come back Thursday. They all come back Thursday, right? I pay them again. Mind you, I left this part out. I got a raise. The school had gave me some type of raise. It was a significant raise. The Baltimore City paid me this much, but the charter school paid me this much out of their budget. So, of course, I had already been used to taking percentages of my money, giving it back.
Right.
So I had the money. That wasn't an issue. So I paid all of them. I paid them again on that Thursday. And then that following week, I threw the wrinkle in. Because we had the teachers, the principals set this thing up, like called a crew, and you had to be a part of these circles and take your shoes off and stuff that these kids wasn't trying to do. So the next week I said, listen, today, instead of cleaning up, we're going, I don't know what they called them, right? They called them something. We're going to do the something. They was like, what's that? I said, listen, y'all said y'all wanted to get paid, blah, 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 right? All these are summer programs. So they come in, they say, okay, you got to take off your shoes. The kids is looking at me like, Mr. Dawod, like, come on.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, right? Yeah. Right? Mind you, while we working, I'm talking. Yo, y'all got to learn how to play the game. And I'm saying stuff because I already know I'm setting y'all up, right? Y'all the worst kids in the school. So if I can get y'all to buy in, the rest of them would be easy, right? That's the goal. My father taught me that. He used to say when he went into different neighborhoods, my father used to sell clothes. He said, when you go in these different neighborhoods, you get the main guy to buy from you and everybody else will follow him.
Right.
Right? So I knew these concepts. So, I got these kids, so now they're doing these groups in the school. And I'm not saying the groups went perfect, but they were there and they didn't leave, right? So after about 2 or 3 weeks of that, Again, I'm not saying the kids was perfect, and I'm not saying we didn't put a lot of them out, because some of them just wouldn't conform, right? But most of them did. Most of them wouldn't have graduated from middle school. So when the school year started, all these bad kids was conforming to these rules, but it was based on seeing me, right? Because I'm in the school and I'm the guy. I'm slick like them. I talk like them. I dress like them. I talk like, and I'm sitting next to a kid. I'm not saying, what you need to do for your future. No, we're talking about today. Today, my guy. Yo, listen, you can't work tomorrow, bro, if you get kicked out of any classes today. Come on, Mr. Dawod. Nah, bro. If you having a problem, raise your hand, ask your teacher, can you come see me? I already talked to your teacher. I told your teacher, whenever you raise your hand, ask, can you come and see me, let you go. So there's no reason for you to walk out. So if you walk out, I know if I walk out, I can't work. So that's kind of how.
Yeah, accountability.
That's kind of how it happened at that school. I don't know how we got there, right?
Well, it's interesting because you said that I guess the 30 worst students, you felt when you visited their home situations that they all came from pretty bad situations.
90% of them.
90% of them. So, the mayoral election is coming up. A major topic that people want to see change besides crime, which we're going to talk about in a second, is the school system. With you being in the school system, and you seem like you're kind of hands-on and straightforward with just figuring out a solution.
Right.
A lot of people are saying, listen, we need to change the system. We got to do this. It's so bad. We have to work on this. It's really hard to get a straightforward answer. So just asking you, because you seem to be a man of action, and you've come up in the school system and you said, listen, I've been on the other side, and I've been that student, okay? And I can relate to these students because I've been that student, and now you've had these years of experience working in the school system. Do you have any hard suggestions or programs that you would suggest that you feel would help our situation here in Baltimore in the public school system?
That was a beautiful setup. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Yes, I have this conversation with teachers all the time, and unfortunately, there's nothing you can do in the school system that's going to change the kids. It has to be things that's happening outside the school system. It has to be programs that extend outside the school system. It have to be after school, not only after school programs, but it has to be, like I told you, I went to all the kids' school in the summertime. Who wants to do that? Who wants to, when they're off in the summer, go visit kids that's struggling during the school year? But you have to do that because that's when you build a rapport.
Yeah.
Right? When the school year starts, you got 1,000 students. Summertime, you might only have 50. So that's when you build a rapport. And unfortunately, we see this on the corners. You might see 5 guys, you might see 10 guys on the corner, right? But they impacting the whole neighborhood of 2,500 people.
Right. Yeah.
You're like, yo, how are these 10 guys on the corner controlling the whole neighborhood to the point nobody want to call the police? Nobody want to, because negativity is impactful, and you have to address it head on. You can't try to say, put this, quote unquote bad kid in the class with all these good kids. They're not going to rub off on him. He's going to rub off on them. Right? So you have to get him on a one-on-one situation in the summer, on the weekends, after school. That's where you get him, right? What can you offer him during those times? Even if whatever you're offering is genuine friendship, just genuine love. People ask me, Dawod, I want to give back. Can you help me do a Christmas drive? That's not really my thing. You can do that. I don't want to do that. Why you say that? Because it's not sustainable. Whatever you buy them is going to be gone in a few months, and they're going to forget about it, and then they're going to get used to people giving them stuff. Well, what should I do? Go back to your neighborhood and find a kid and see them once a month for the rest of their life. Do that. That'll be impactful.
Right.
Because guess what? Every month, that kid going to be looking forward to that visit. Will you change his life? Maybe. Maybe. But it ain't going to hurt his life.
Right.
And he's going to have one person that he can trust.
Yeah.
If you want to do it every week, do it every week. But once a month is manageable.
Yeah. The mentorship is so important.
It's important.
You mentioned, your father in the short time really, that you had him in your life.
Mind you, that 18 years, he was in active drug addiction for half of those years. So it's not like I had him for 18 straight years. I might have had him for 8. So he was in and out. Just that when he was there, like when he was clean,
Yeah.
he was the man.
Wow.
I mean, the man. So that just gives you an example of who he could have been
Right.
had he been able to fight his demons and win that battle.
Right.
Right. He was the man.
Yeah.
And anybody that I come across that know him, they tell me, and I'm not exaggerating, they tell me a story of something that he said to them and it changed their life. I'm like, damn, why couldn't he apply all this great advice to himself?
Yeah, it's
right?
always easier for us to give the advice, right? Or to see somebody else's situation from the outside scope, but it's a little bit harder sometimes to do the inner work.
Yeah, it is. You got to fight those demons, and it's painful.
Yeah.
It's painful.
And so you talk about, your criminal record
Which is expunged now, by the way.
Well, that's good. I'm glad for you. But you were so young when you started this activity, and you talk about how it affected your life, how hard it was for you to get back in the swing, to be able to go for the jobs that you wanted, and how you got to a point where you just accepted, well, this is my story, this is my fate, I'll never be able to reach above a certain level. We mentioned the crime earlier that's happening not only in Baltimore, but all over nationwide, really. It's been a major uptick in youth crime, specifically repeat offenders, shoplifting and auto theft specifically. And so youth offenders and repeat offenders here in Baltimore have seemed to find this loophole where they know that if they commit a nonviolent crime, then more than likely they're going to get that slap on the wrist and get sent home. And now it's to the point that we have parents that are turning in their own children, that we have parents that are reaching out to the police station saying, no, detain him, keep her. I can't control this person in my house.
Right.
He might be a teenager, but he's the size of a grown man.
Yeah, menace.
And I can't control it or even take it in my house, and now it's affecting my other children. It's affecting my mental, my livelihood, and they're looking to the police and to the government to do something. So what is your take on that? And it's wild because these kids are getting the slap on the wrist and they're getting sent home and they're not being detained. It seems like that forward thinking about where they can be 10, 20, 30 years from now is not applying, like what you went through, how the hardship of getting a job because you had that record.
Right.
And they just don't seem to be thinking about or even caring about how what they're doing right now, even though they're getting a slap on the wrist and getting sent home, but this is going to affect you in life.
They know, right? It's well, clearly you know, and everybody knows, so many layers, right? So I wouldn't insult anybody that's trying to make change and trying to say you can just do this, right? Because it's not one thing that you can just do.
Right.
And I know it's people working tirelessly, right? I'll give some examples, though, because we used to steal cars when I was coming up. That was a thing. You know what made us stop?
Please tell.
They started giving mandatory 15 years for car theft.
Yeah.
And some of my friends went to jail for 15 years. You know what I said, personally? I ain't going to tell you what my friends... This what I said. Man, listen, it ain't that fun.
Yeah.
Right? They started giving mandatory years. So some of my friends was getting 15 years for car theft.
Yeah.
Right? This was in the 80s, right? Somewhere along the line, that stopped for whatever reasons. And I'm not advocating that it should happen again. I'm just giving an example.
Maybe the numbers went down, but it was a rampant issue that they had to address.
It was rampant. And I was going to middle school. We was going to middle school in cars.
You know, I had a coworker that told me that it looked like a 12-year-old
We were going
pulled up alongside them in a car.
We were going to Roland Park, Winston Middle School, in cars. Okay? Back then it was Novas.
Stolen cars.
Stolen Novas.
Stolen Novas.
Stolen Novas and Cherokees. Right?
Wow.
So then people started getting 15 years minimum. Mandatory. Right? Mandatory. If you get caught in a stolen car, I don't care if you're the passenger, the driver, 15 years.
Yeah.
It stopped quick.
I think that's enough to make a...
It stopped quick.
Yeah.
So that's one part. I think the laws have softened for youth. And listen, when I tell you this part, this is going to make people mad. And I ain't come here for this, Erica, but this is going to make people mad. A lot of the... it's big money in poverty. It's big business. juvenile rehabilitation is big business, right? We can make a lot of money off this boy if we keep him on the streets and put him in these programs. It's big business. Nobody talking about that, though, right? Ain't nobody going to talk about it. It's people getting rich because they got the best grant writer in the world. Program ain't about nothing, but the grant writer is awesome. And the person who came up with the idea is incredibly smart. But the program ain't about nothing.
Right.
Program not impactful. Kid might see the advocate once every 3 months. Right? They might go to Burger King. That's about it. So yeah, we're gonna keep him on the streets. We're gonna put him in all these programs because we just gave, we as whoever, right? We just gave this program $2.5 million, so we're gonna take all these kids and put them in that program, because we got to justify the money, right? So a lot of it is that. Like I said, it's layers, right? So some of it is laws, some of it is big business in youth. What is it called? Rehabilitation. It's big business in that. We can make more money with them outside of the system than we can with them inside the system.
Right. But are youth really being rehabilitated?
Well, listen. Look at the numbers. You tell me.
Yeah.
You tell me. I could tell you in our program, we probably got a 80% success rate. Success meaning kids that come through our program graduate high school and typically don't become criminals. But not all of them. Some of them do become criminals.
Yeah.
All of them tend to graduate. I can't even think of a kid maybe 2 guys I could think off the top of my mind that actually didn't graduate because it just was dumbasses and just didn't want to do right.
And these are you're speaking specifically
my
about
kids from my father's plan. Yeah, kids that I knew from 8 years old, right? 90% of them graduate high school.
Yeah.
Out of that 90%, 75% of them, 80% of them are civilians. But it's not to say some of them don't turn into criminals, but you can't save everybody. But that's a heck of a success rate.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a success rate.
Absolutely.
We don't have anybody that went to jail for murder. Car theft, maybe.
It's been happening a lot.
Yeah, I might have saw a couple of them ride past me, and I'm like,
is that one of my guys?
Is that so-and-so?
It better not be.
But yeah, it's so many layers, and for me, one of the main things that I get upset about is a lot of us forget that we was young one time. It's like now that we older, now we don't want kids to light firecrackers. Oh, I hate those firecrackers. What you mean? You used to pop them. Like, come on, like you being unrealistic, and that's why it's a disconnect. So that's the layer I'm getting to. It's just a disconnect between adults and kids. For example, I tell you when I wear the fronts, my friends say, "Oh, you too old for that," but the kids say, "Oh, yo, Dawod, whoa, whoa, whoa," and I'm like, "Yo, that's the problem. You think you too old for everything, right? You forgot. What happened to the kid in you? What happened when you see the kids outside lighting firecrackers? Yo, won't you go outside? See, I go outside and say, yo, make sure y'all clean the stuff up when y'all done. I ain't tripping off the noises.
Yeah.
It's 4th of July, right? Like,
yeah.
But yo, so I'm not out here fussing about the firecrackers. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm just saying you shouldn't if you used to pop them. If you used to light fireworks, you shouldn't be fussing about kids lighting fireworks. You're a hypocrite, right? So is the noise annoying? Yes, I'm 51. Of course it's annoying, right? But I still have to find the kid in me. And I have to
So you can still relate and understand.
I got to find a bridge. What's the bridge? Oh, the bridge is, when y'all done, make sure y'all throw that stuff in the trash, please.
Yeah.
They can't be mad at that. All right, well, we got you. Do they do it every single time? No. But we ain't fussing either. Because you being unrealistic. Oh, y'all stop popping on firecrackers. What you think their response going to be? FUB. Is it right? No. But they're 15. This is their response. How about you change your delivery? How about you change what you saying to them? Kids don't have no respect. You don't have respect for them. Half of y'all scared of them, right? And I'm not saying that they are right. I'm not saying that we should bow down to kids.
But just knowing how to relate, how to communicate,
you got to know how to relate
understand.
and how to communicate to them. So when we're talking about a lot of stuff that's happening in the school system, A lot of it is because you have no idea this kid is hungry. This kid ain't ate all day.
Or whatever's happening in that child's home.
His mother just got beat up last night by her boyfriend.
And now he's coming to school angry.
And then he coming to school angry. So yeah, he cussing you out. And I'm not saying he's right.
Right. But this is what's happening.
This is what's happening. So if the only time you see him is in school, you're not going to change him because what's going on out of school is more impactful than what's going on in school. In school is only 4 hours of learning, and you're forcing him to learn it. So he already fighting against that.
Yeah.
So if there's nothing going on at home, if there's no programs in his neighborhood, people say, the Rex. It's not all the Rex. How about you come outside? Listen, we all over Baltimore City cleaning up. So half of y'all ain't even cleaning up your own front. So stop it. Go outside and clean up your front. Go outside and
we wouldn't have as much to clean up if you
go outside and clean up and ask a bunch of kids. Half of our people got $100 to throw away because we smoke weed. The blunts cost $5. The weed costs $30, right? And that's every day. It's some of us doing that every day. Ask me how I know this, because I'm in that culture. Do I smoke weed? Not no more.
Okay. Good for you.
But the point is, this is the money that I was spending myself.
Right, so you understand.
So I know you all have disposable income. So instead of complaining, the city, how about you? What are you doing? This person make $10 million, they should donate. Well, you make $60,000. Why you don't donate $10 a month?
Right.
So it's about accountability.
Yeah.
If you want to change the city, you got to change yourself.
Yeah. And people finding their own ways to help, not only your organization, but just to help the community at large.
Well, how about help yourself?
First.
It's called self-development, and it never stops. It's not just for kids. It's for us.
Absolutely.
We have to self-develop. We have to go home and reflect. I have to go home and reflect on what I said this morning. I'll give you an example. This morning, we riding to Federal Hill, me and the crew to clean up. I was about to make a right turn, so I got into the bike lane. I saw the guy on the bike, and, I wasn't going to hit him because I'm behind him. He can't see me, but I can see him. So when I rode past him, it probably startled him, white guy on a 10-speed. And, he was, so I could see him, and he gave me the finger. And I thought to myself, this guy have no idea who I am or what I'm going through. What if I pull this van and I got 5 young boys who would do anything I tell them to? This guy have no idea. We could have got out this van and beat him up. And you know what he would have said? Man, I ain't do nothing. I was just riding my bike. Yes, you did. You insulted me. Because you thought that I was trying to hit you, and I wasn't. And you said, F me. It's just little stuff like that. That's self-development. Now, is that man going to go home tonight and reflect? Is he going to go home tonight and say, damn, when I put my middle finger up, I don't need to do that no more because road rage is real. Is he going to do that? That's self-reflection. That's self-development. Because I was reflecting as he was doing it. I was reflecting. Like, damn, this could go crazy. What if I pulled over? Because I got mad. Like, damn, why he going to say F me? I had a moment. Not that I was going to act irrationally.
So then dealing with students who kind of have these issues, right, who are working on their own self-development, has working with these students helped you with your own self-development?
Yes. Working with anybody helps me with my own self-development. Erica, being here with you, being with Shakira. Listen, I work with myself all day. Self-development is a full-time job no matter who I'm talking to because I can't say that I want to be the change if I'm not the change. I got to be the change first. So I'm constantly assessing myself. I'm assessing how I respond. I'm assessing how I take in stuff, like the guy on the bike. I was assessing it while I'm driving, like having a moment of, because it was an emotional moment of him saying, F you. I'm like, man, who the hell he talking to? That was my moment. It just don't last long because I do this all day. But let's think about a kid who's 14. And like I say, last night his mother got beat up by her boyfriend,
right,
or whatever happened.
And a bad moment or bad decision could change your life.
Or this morning, the 5th grader, his mother said, you dumb mother effer. I'm tired of you. You just like, it's right on your neck. Yeah, mother cussed him out before he left home. So now he get to school and you trying to make him read this text. He already not that good at reading. And I'm not putting no blame on the kid. I'm just saying that kid is probably not in a place of self-reflection yet. But you as an adult are. You supposed to be. You could be. But if you're not, you're going to take it personal. he don't want to learn, or he woo, woo, woo. How about you figure out a different delivery? Let him read later.
Yeah, just getting down to their level and
You
being
gotta-
able to relate.
That's why I don't call me Mr. Dawod.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah.
we the same.
Some folks have to get off the high horse.
Get off your high horse.
So they can understand and put on a different set of glasses so they can see the scope for sure.
Do you really want to relate, or do you want to control?
Right.
I don't want to control. I want you to make all your own choices. So I want to relate, but I want to lay everything out for you. That way, if you make the wrong choice, that's cool. But when you see me, I'm going to be your reflection. Damn, the Lord told me, right? But the only way I could be your reflection is if I'm constantly developing myself. So, we're talking about school and teachers. Any person working in the school system, or a teacher, or any person working with young people, or any person working with people, self-reflection. If this word
important.
doesn't resonate with you, then it should, because this is where it starts.
Absolutely.
You got to make the change in yourself, and you cannot change yourself if you don't self-reflect. You have to reflect on your behavior. You have to reflect on your responses. You have to reflect on your feelings, right? This is where therapy comes in. You have to reflect on your trauma. Why did I get mad? This is me. Why did I get mad when that man put his middle finger up at me? Because I don't like feeling disrespected, right? I got to search myself, right? And most of us, we're not willing to do that because it's painful.
No,
right?
self-reflection is important. And the hope and the goal is that all of the young people that you have inspired go on and start their own nonprofits and their own My Father's plans in different neighborhoods and in different communities, because that's the point. It's needed. The mentorship and just getting down to the youth on their level, because there is a disconnect, and we need to bridge that gap and bring it together. For folks that want to learn more about My Father's Plan, for members of the community that want to help out, like you said, well, what are you doing? What are you getting off of your behind? What are you coming out the house, and how are you contributing besides pointing the finger? How can people reach out and get in touch with My Father's Plan?
They can go on our social media page, My Father's Plan. That's Facebook. Instagram at My Father's Plan. They can go to our website, www.myfathersplan.com. Excuse me. I'm so big and I'm so important now. I got a business phone and a personal phone.
Oh, well, as you should.
Right? So they can call my phone. My phone number is public information.
Okay.
Will I answer it every single time? No, but somebody will.
Okay.
Right? My daughter kind of controls our social media and phone stuff. So somebody will always respond, and so I'm going to always get back to you. And I'm visible. Like, I'm usually at our building, moving around, in and out. Most people see me in the neighborhood. They ride past, beep the horn. So it's really easy to get in touch with me and find out what's going on. Yeah, so people come and they ask me, they tell me what they want to do, and I help them with a strategic plan of doing it. So, and I do it for free now, so you better come now.
Okay.
Right? Probably next year I'm going to start charging for it. But right now I do it for free because I want people to take action. And when people take action, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, well, I hope that people do reach out. We've seen increased self-esteem, improved grades, positive engagements and interactions coming from Baltimore youth that have been engaged with My Father's Plan. So, Mr. Dawod Thomas, we appreciate everything that you are doing for the Baltimore community and beyond. Thank you so much for just coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely. If you missed any episodes of To Be More, you can always log on WMAR2news.com. I'm Erica Kane. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.